so I've always wondered what those are like, and if for some reason no one's ever watched Carrie, we're gonna be going over that story today. And Carrie's a very good movie, and it is such a classic, so if you've not watched it, definitely go check it out. The 70s one is my favorite, and we're basically going to be going over the plot of that movie today, and then kind of the background story of it from Stephen King's perspective. Like, why did he make this story? Because it is so spooky and morbid. So let's get into it today. Get yourselves nice and comfortable. Grab whatever it is you'd like. Some popcorn for this movie retelling, book retelling really. And let's dive right into it today. So, Carrie is about a shy, unpopular 16-year-old girl who's very bullied in high school. Her name is Carrie White. It literally starts with her after gym class in the locker room, and she is experiencing her first period. She's extremely unaware of what is happening, which, poor girl, and has a panic attack, desperately pleading to people for help because she thinks she's dying, because she's never been told what her period is, right? So she tells the other girls she's bleeding to death and asking for help. So the other girls there think that this is funny and are extremely arrogant. So the popular girl, Chris Harkinson, who very frequently bullies Carrie, gleefully responds to her pleas for help by pelting her with tampons. Her friends join in, all laughing and chanting at her, saying, "Plug it up, plug it up," which is so rude. Like, these women they're not girls, that's for sure. So gym teacher Miss Collins breaks up the commotion and actually slaps Carrie in the face because I can see your dirty pillows in it. Like, she's just next level, you know? Like, holy crap, Mom. Anyway, she also says something that's so shrilling and spooky in this movie, which we'll get to later. But Margaret, like, kindly screw off forever, you know? Anyway, Carrie's already going through enough. So, Carrie's classmates actually feel guilty for participating in the locker room antics, which, yes, as she should be. So one of the girls that actually bullied Carrie felt very bad for her actions and for participating in that, and this was Sue. So, you know, she arranges for her boyfriend, handsome and popular, named Tommy, to ask Carrie to the upcoming prom instead of her, because she felt really bad, you know, and she thought maybe this could make up for her cruel actions towards Carrie. So Tommy asks her, in which Carrie is incredibly reluctant for, you know, obvious reasons. She's a smart girl, and these girls have been horrible to her for a long time. But Miss Collins encourages her that this is a good idea, and you do you, you know. So, meanwhile, after Carrie had to get sent home and stuff from the event, the girls that actually participated in the bullying actually got sent to detention for a week-long detention during gym class. But they're threatened by, you know, the teacher that anyone that skips this detention, this week-long detention, won't be able to go to prom. So, like, just sit there and, you know, pay for the consequences of your actions, right? As well as they will be suspended for 3 days too. So, like, just stay in that room and, you know, deal with it. But no, Chris, the longtime bully, walks out and gets excluded from prom then because she's just a brat. So Carrie is like, no, keeps brushing her hair, trying to ignore her mom, who then starts hitting herself because of Carrie, which is a thing that she does. So, Carrie uses her telekinesis against her mother, telling her to sit down and be quiet. As she does it, she's shoved to the bed. Carrie looks for the window to see if her date is there. Her mother gets up and continues. I don't think she fully realized what had happened. And then she's screaming, and Carrie does it again, grabbing her head, saying, "Sit down and stop quiet." Saying, "Sit down and be quiet." And sure enough, she's stuck on the bed. And Carrie goes out to go on her date. So her mother then accuses her of being a witch and satanic while whispering and praying to herself while she's alone. It's just the creepiest thing. Like, I don't remember the newest Carrie, but the 70s one. That mother did a great job of being terrible. But anyway, so prom comes, and at prom, Carrie finally realizes that she's accepted among her peers, and she feels really great and confident about herself, which finally, right? She even shares a kiss with Tommy. So it's like this good moment for her. She's finally living her best. However, during the prom, popular girl Chris and her boyfriend Billy are under the stage, while other conspirators switch the ballots out to make sure that she wins, Carrie wins. And sure enough, it happens. So as Carrie stands on stage with Tommy, finally feeling accepted, she's won prom queen, she's having a good night, right? Well, Sue, who's really rooting for her, catches on to Chris and Billy's plan, and she tries to intervene and stop what they have and stop everything from happening to sabotage Carrie. However, Miss Collins spots Sue, thinking that she's up to no good. Maybe she's mad that, Carrie's like literally up there with her boyfriend or something, and throws her out, making it so that Sue cannot intervene Chris and Billy. So sure enough, Chris and Billy are under the stage pulling the rope attached to the bucket of pig's blood, which then falls, dousing Carrie head to toe in pig's blood. They then sneak out of the school through the back door. Meanwhile, the actual bucket hits Tommy on the head, knocking him out, causing him to become unconscious, right? So Carrie is then standing alone on a stage, covered in blood, with the entire crowd staring at her. So, Carrie, big blood-soaked Carrie, starts hallucinating that everyone in the gymnasium, including Miss Collins, is laughing at her, motivated by the fact that a small majority was laughing at her, for sure. And you just kind of hear her perception and her mother saying, "They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you." And she starts using her telekinetic powers against the crowd. Enraged, she goes into a silent, psychotic breakdown for those guilty and innocent alike. The doors of the gymnasium slam shut. A high-pressure water hose assaults many people, including Norma, who is knocked unconscious. Crazy movie. Pretty good though. Stephen King has a wild mind, wild imagination. So, you know, to talk a little bit about, I guess, his inspiration and stuff behind it, as it is one of the most famous horror movies ever written in stories. I think it's gotten like 4 movies, adaptations, and like a TV miniseries and stuff. Most of his inspiration started, and I think most of the inspiration for this novel came from the jobs that he had before his writing career had fully taken off. So the inspiration for Carrie's opening scene, for instance, came from his brief job as a high school janitor. Stephen King says when he was working in a high school as the janitor and he cleaned out the locker rooms, he'd noticed that the school's girls' locker had chrome U-rings with plastic pink curtains attached, unlike the boys'. He states that this is a memory that came back to him one day while working in the laundry, and he'd seen. I think that this is actually something that happened. I don't know, the text doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. But the inspiration for Carrie herself came from 2 different girls that he'd went to school with. The first was a girl who was bullied mercilessly because she always wore the same clothes every day. And the other was a girl who had a massive crucifix hanging over her living room couch. And he always thought that if such a gigantic icon had fallen when the 2 of them were watching TV, that 100% that would have killed the person, right? So these 2 people were combined into Carrie White, a girl who was both picked on in school and stuck with a mother who maybe took her religious beliefs insanely too far. However, the telekinesis part is interesting. He put that together after reading an article in Life magazine, which I like this article. It says that there's some evidence, to suggest that young people might have such telekinetic powers, especially girls in early adolescence, around the time of their first period. So, very unrelated ideas, bullying, telekinesis, and apparently what sounds like when he was a janitor, he at a high school, and he saw a girl, or didn't see, but like heard of a girl maybe starting her period, and girls pelting sanitary napkins at her. Seems like that's how that all kind of went together. So he was probably like, wow, I can't believe someone did that, and then read an article being like, weird. Weird time frame for girls to suddenly be telekinetic. I wish that was a thing. I would love it. Let's go, Maybe I missed out on that, obviously, but still, pretty neat. So anyways, as for the rest of the novel, it's kind of easy to see how Stephen King's job of being a teacher previously reflects in his writing. He taught at a public school for 2 years before Carrie was actually picked up by a publisher. And the novel constantly jumps from the teaching staff to the children's perspective. And one of the book's most memorable characters is Miss Desjardins, who, despite initially snapping at Carrie in the opening locker room scene, turns out to be one of the very few that actually empathizes with Carrie and tries to real. Imagine Carrie was based off of like someone real. Like, I'm talking a girl who used telekinesis against her whole school. That would be insane.